This conference will now be recorded.
All right. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. It is about 6:37 on Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. I'd like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis people. Before I get to introductions, I'd just like to say this is our last council meeting of 2020. And at this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to extend my best wishes to all our staff and our council members and residents for the upcoming year. Please remember, stay safe, practice COVID protocols, protect yourself, your family, and your community now and into 2021. And thank you to all our municipal staff, seasonal employees, contract employees, leaseholders for doing your part to ensure our community has had a COVID-safe experience so far. Council looks forward to meeting again in a public forum when we are all safely able to do so. And we remind residents that you can reach us by phone, by email, and by regular mail. And work requests can be made via the e-service tab on our website. Delegations, as we have tonight, can be accommodated remotely through GoToMeetings and must be arranged through the R&M office at least 7 days in advance. So with that, I will carry on. Introductions on the screen are Councillors Axworthy, Councillor Kumka.
Good evening.
And Councillor Randall is on his phone at the moment.
Hello, Graham here.
And also on the screen is our delegation, Daniel Robideau, and we will get to Daniel in a minute. Around the table,
Mike Rutmanovich.
Brian Morrow, CEO.
and Penny McMorris, Mayor. Okay, so adoption of the agenda. Any additions, gentlemen? Let me get my resolutions here. It resolved the agenda be adopted as presented. May I have a mover? Mike, thank you. Second, Steve, thank you. Any additions or deletions? Good, Raymond, you had nothing else to add? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Graham. Carried. Moving on to the minutes of the December 1st, 2020 meeting, regular meeting of council, which have been circulated. Be it resolved, minutes of the December 1st, 2020 regular council meeting be adopted as presented. Mover, please. Thank you, Erwin. Second. Mike, thank you. Any discussion on the minutes?
No.
All right. Steve's missing in action. All those in favor?
Aye.
Steve?
I think Steve would be recorded as an abstention.
He's not.
Yeah, he's not feeling well. He's run off somewhere for some cold medicine, I think.
Oh, all right. He will be back.
Yes.
Okay, so that was carried. Moving on to delegations. Mr. Robideau from Eco West is going to talk to us tonight about electric vehicle chargers. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you. So thank you very much for allowing me to come and present to you tonight. As mentioned, my name is Danny Robideau. I'm the Executive Director of Eco West Canada. We're a not-for-profit organization that works with a number of municipalities in the province already. Our mandate is really to assist municipalities in identifying and adopting new clean and green technologies to help make that shift to a greener economy. We run a number of different programs, and the reason I'm here today is that Eco West was successful recently in obtaining funding from Natural Resources Canada in order to assist municipalities who would be interested in doing so to purchase and install charging stations for electric vehicles, level 2 charging stations to be precise. So the funding that we had received is matching funding that is available to municipalities to the up to $5,000 in matching funds for the installation of charging stations. We had initially all the charging stations spoken for, so this initiative is looking to install 31 level 2 charging stations initially in 8 municipalities across the province. Unfortunately, one of the initial partners had to withdraw from the initiative for impacts of COVID on their budget, which meant that we had 6 charging stations up for grabs for that we had to find homes for. So we are here tonight in order to present this opportunity to the Arm of Victoria Beach. Essentially, if you're interested in installing level 2 charging stations this coming fiscal year, we currently have 3 charging stations left that we're looking for homes for. So the maximum right now that we'd be able to give out would be up to $15,000 for the installation of the charging stations. The costs that are eligible are those of for purchasing the charging stations, as well as the installation costs. But again, we're maxed at being able to provide up to $5,000. We've been indicating to municipalities that not knowing what the setup is, we kind of budgeted that each installation would be around $12,500. When you factor in the $5,000 rebate, the net cost to the municipality would be roughly around $7,500. That's kind of my spiel. So if you have questions, it might make it easier.
Yeah. Why do we need level 2 chargers instead of level 1 chargers? And through your program, do these chargers have to be in a public place that's available 24/7, 365 days a year? So 2 questions, I guess.
Yeah. The level 2, it's the requirements of the program. It was either level 2 or level 3 charges that you could apply for. The level 3s are really, really expensive. And level 2s kind of are the ones that the federal program is looking to support. And it would have to be on land that you own that is accessible to the public. It would need designated parking spots, etc. Yeah.
Anybody else have some questions?
I have one question. Does it matter where we source the chargers from, Danny?
Not really. We have prepared a request for quotes that we were going to publish for the group of municipalities that are taking part. We've just shared that RFQ with the other participating municipalities so that they can get we can get their feedback on it. We're hoping to make it public at the latest next week. But that being said, we're flexible. If you were to say, well, we really have our hearts set on these types of chargers and we'd rather not go through an RFQ process, we just want to bring the money into the province. It's coming from the feds, so we just want to make sure that we're able to spend these dollars adequately. So right now it has to be a level 2 charger is our requirement.
Question. How does one pay for the electricity? Is there some mechanism on these charging units? You put a credit card in and you're charged so many dollars per kilowatt or whatever?
Eventually, you'd be able to, or depending on the units that you're purchasing or that we'd be purchasing, some allow for that, and there's monitoring and all sorts. Initially, though, it would be it was envisioned as a free service for a couple of years until the contract with the feds is up. Was my understanding.
Is that a condition of acceptability that this has to be provided as a free service?
It used to be. I'd have to double check on the fine print with the feds. the contract that we have.
Steve? You're muted. Okay.
Yeah, my building's fire alarm went off, so anyway, yeah. So when I came in, I just wanted to make sure that I got this right. That you have 3 charging stations out of the 6 that you were trying to get rid of. That the cost for installation was $15,000 or $1,500.
Oh, 12,500 is what we kind of ballparked it at approximate. And then we are able to then provide a refund of $5,000, maximum of up to $5,000.
Okay.
So then the net cost per charger would be $7,500.
Okay.
That's installation and the equipment?
Yes. Site assessment, installation, equipment.
Sorry, sorry, Steve, go ahead.
Yeah. So now with level 2 chargers, it usually takes about anywhere between 6 to 8 hours to charge, correct?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Given that the RM is primarily catering, our parking lot is primarily catering to summer residents, and then maybe we might be picking up around in the rest of the RM. Most of our residents are going to be staying 24 hours to 48 hours. The weekends typically our busiest time. Yes, you do have people that are going to drive up and back, me being one of those people periodically, but generally that's going to be our need. So given that a level 1 charger usually takes around sort of 18 to 24 hours to charge a car, would you say that it's fairly prudent that we hurry up and buy these 3 chargers, or that we sort of spend a little bit less right now and then wait, say several years, keep adding? Because if we were to spend $12,000, we could easily put in about 50 level 1 chargers and have that be our charging stations as right now. And when we're ready, saying that, okay, we have enough of these, now we need to cater to that person who's running up and back. Would that not be a little bit more prudent for our needs right now? Just given your expertise.
It doesn't sound like a bad idea. I mean, knowing the parking lot system at Victoria Beach, it seems like it would be a prudent approach to put in level 1 chargers. I just don't have money for level 1 chargers.
Yeah.
That was about to be my question.
Yeah.
Is there any sense of the future of level 1 chargers? Are EVs going to evolve to the point where they require level 2 or higher? Do you have any sense of that whatsoever, Danny?
From the conversations that I've had with folks at like the Manitoba Electric Vehicle Association and whatnot, when we first started looking at this for communities, we were thinking of level 3 chargers, the fast chargers, and they said that really for what most folks need in Manitoba, a level 2 would be more than enough. So the super fast chargers are the ones that, they're coming in, they want 20 minutes, 40 minutes max, get an 80% charge, and then be able to move on. Your municipality is more of a destination, right? People aren't necessarily they're not driving off to the next spot. So I would say that level 2s are likely sufficient. Even level 1s would likely be quite, because people are going there and parking their car and staying and leaving it there for a while, right? So it's that's
Michael, if I could just comment from a technical point of view, given how engineering normally develops, I would expect that the electric cars will be running on regular 110 current on a level 1 charger, but much faster as technology develops, because that means that virtually anyone with an electrical outlet can plug in their cars. That's a ways off.
I was kind of leading to my question. These level 2 chargers, are they wired 120 or 240, or what are they wired? Or 110, 220?
I've got the spec sheet somewhere.
I think they're 240. They're the same as a dryer outlet,
I believe so.
220, 240, whatever
That's too
that
bad. If it was 110, we wear them cheap at the parking lot.
is. Yeah,
So the parking lot may not have enough power.
it doesn't right now.
There is that, yes.
We'd have to upgrade the panel, but that's a separate discussion. But Dan, this initiative you said, I think, goes till December 2021. Does it go, is it an annual event?
So with Natural Resource Canada, there's a number of intake dates that are foreseen over the next couple of years for a variety of different types of installations that they're looking at. They just had an intake for proposals that ended last week. We've also submitted to that one. The difference between this current initiative that we're talking about and the one that we just applied for is that for this one we had to have the locations pretty much all identified and most of the municipalities on board. The new proposal that we submitted was essentially just to be a delivery agency for the funding. So we submitted to NRCan in order to be able to facilitate the purchase and installation of up to 100 charging stations in Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So we think that there's been the municipality who dropped out of the initiative kind of did us a pretty big favor in a way, because it allowed us to reach out to a number of municipalities and gauge the level of interest. And there is a significant amount of interest, I think, in Manitoba right now. If we're successful in our next with the proposal that we just submitted, we will have again similar terms and conditions to be able to offer to municipalities for the next 2 years. There isn't a huge rush, right? Like it's not as long as we're successful in this last submission.
If you're not successful, then what happens to the people of the municipalities who were on board?
So the current municipalities we're okay with. It's those, right. It's we didn't have to get anybody on board. In fact, what's happened since we've obtained this current contract is that a number of car charging manufacturers and retailers have been, like, we've been just getting swamped with calls because NRCan posted the fact that we got this contract, and everybody now is calling us going, hey, so you have this money and you want to install some chargers. And so the last round that we submitted for would allow us to work with the resellers or directly. So if we just need to work out how that would work. But I think, it looks kind of interesting as long as we get accepted. And there's always that risk that we don't, but there's not been much uptake in the prairies for this type of stuff. So we're thinking we might have a pretty good chance.
Okay. The RFQ, the responses that are due next week, because it's an RFQ, can I assume that that's just for the charging stations? Was there anything else that was being quoted?
It was just for the charging stations.
Okay. So we can get as much information as we could.
I mean, if you'd want, I could share it with you. I have no problem sharing what we've just shared with everyone, with all the participating municipalities so far, saying, here's what we've put together. Please let us know if you have any questions or concerns or anything that would like to be changed based on their own purchasing policies. So, we really have nothing to hide. So I have no problem sharing it with you folks and so you can see what's being asked, and if it helps inform your decision, then great.
That would be helpful. Yeah. We'd appreciate that.
Sure.
Question, what's your sense of timing? If we say, yes, we want to do something in 2021, could we fit that into next year's budget in terms of when we have to pay this?
Yeah, so it'd be that in terms of, we're hoping to get the bulk of the work completed by March, April. we have leeway until December, but the feds they've requested that we spend all the money by March 31st
Of 2021.
2021.
of 2021. Yes. There are ways to provide the feds with the paperwork that they need in order to make it acceptable, but
Graham, there you
Graham, mute your microphone.
go. Sorry. Hey. there-
Graham, can you mute your microphone, please?
It was my phone doing that. I had to do that and kill the phone. Okay, I'm here. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay. All right, so what is your deadline for people who want to, like our community, to let you know if we're interested?
as the sooner the better. We've got other municipalities that we're also meeting with. So we're pretty much on a first come, first serve basis.
Okay.
So I'm not too stressed about not being able to get rid of 3 charging stations. I think they will go. But again, it'll be on a first come, first serve basis.
That's fair. Okay. Any other questions?
Could you send the RFQ to our CAO?
Yeah, I will do that after we're done this call here, and I'll send it right away.
Yeah, and let's be very clear about which email you should send it to.
VicBeach@mymts.net.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the same one you've been
Yeah,
using.
good. Okay, the same one that everybody but me uses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add, Danny?
No, I think other than that, we offer a bunch of other services as well in terms of, we help municipalities essentially with FCM funding applications and conducting greenhouse gas emissions inventories and action planning that really helps municipalities access funding for a lot of green initiatives in the area of transportation, waste, energy, and water treatment. If those would be of interest to you, then I'd be happy to come back and chat some more, or chat offline with the CAO and whatnot. But other than that, hopefully we'd be able to find some homes for some charging stations in Victoria Beach, either this time around or the next.
Danny, sorry, one more question. You were pretty specific about the estimate of about 12.5 thousand per station to install. Can you break that down a little bit without telling us too much about what you anticipate the quotes for charging stations from suppliers are going to be? What's involved in that? Is that hiring a Red Seal electrician and installing a new panel and running new cable from the source to,
Yeah, we assume that there wouldn't be too much concrete work to be done. There may be some concrete work to install the pedestals. There would be some electrical work, but not, again, not hundreds of feet of electrical. It would be a certified electrician to install the units. There would be a site inspection to ensure that prior to doing any of the work that everything is there in order to comply. It's also pulling the permits that are required and whatnot. So
is that a hydro inspection? Is that a hydro inspection or?
Or it's essentially, from what we've been in, the conversations that we've had, it's either an engineer and or a certified electrician can typically go by the sites and figure out what is required. Okay. And if everything's in place, power wise and panel wise and all that other stuff.
Well, our building inspector would obviously have to be involved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Graham, did you want to weigh in on any of this? I'll get right to you there in a second, Steve. Graham, did you want to add anything? You've been, you're on mute, buddy.
You're muted.
There we go. No, I think you've addressed the issues fairly well. It's as with most items, it's a question of dollars and timing. You've indicated that there's no rush at your end, but it is a complicated process. Perhaps if we get through this RFQ process and see where we go from there.
Okay. Steve, you had another question?
There wasn't so much question. It's just like I just want to go back to the question that I was raising before. Like for me, I just don't understand the need to get level 2s right now. I looked into this a lot when we all first started, and I think that level 2s, like we're going to need level 2s. Period. I'm 100% for electric vehicles. I mean, they are one of the best ways that we can get away from gas and start actually protecting the environment while we still have the luxuries that we have right now. But given our needs, the biggest problem that I have with getting level 2 chargers is the fact that we may strand somebody. Because if we have somebody who's sitting at a charging station for 8 or more hours, and we have literally hundreds of vehicles right now inside of that parking lot, if we have more than 3 people who are using that charging station, they're going to have to start waiting. And at some point, somebody's accidentally going to get stranded because somebody never came over and get their car. It's just that's how human beings operate, unfortunately. So I don't see that this is a good use of money right now to go ahead and purchase level 2s. I would much rather get as many level 1s as we can, which are essentially just outlets. Throw them on 50 or more upwards of this if we're considering $12,500, budgeting that, putting in 50 or more level 1 chargers, so then that we have an ample supply. So regardless, we know that people are not going to get stranded, they can get back to the city. Maybe the next year we go for level 2s, or maybe even we just hold on to the 3rd year and we continue with those level 1s, depending on what the demand is. But given that we don't know how many EVs are in Victoria Beach, or what people will start doing when they see that they have the ability to plug in, right? Because that's one of the things that I'm waiting for. It's one of the reasons why I haven't purchased one, is because we don't have anywhere to charge right now. So if I have that ability, I'm going to go out and buy one. And I'm sure that a lot of other people are in the same position. So I see it as us risking total failure if we get the level 2s right now without having the proper infrastructure in place to be able to ensure that everybody's protected.
But what Danny's working on is level 2 chargers.
Level 2 chargers, yeah.
So points,
Yeah.
but well
The
made.
level ones are cheaper, but there's less control. Steve, you're convinced that the whole world is headed this way. Okay, I won't disagree with you, but is it not true that most people are opting for hybrid type vehicles rather than the full electric, so they're not hemming themselves in?
Can we just get back to that? Can we get back to this is a separate discussion. Dan's here to talk to us about level 2 chargers and the
Oh my goodness. All right, I will gracefully withdraw.
We can definitely carry this conversation on at another time, but Danny, I think we've answered or asked questions that we have.
Yep.
We look forward to getting the RFQ so that we can at least have a ballpark figure to go, some ballpark figures to work with. And other than that, if you have anything else to say, I think we'll thank you and wish you all the best holidays.
Yes.
You are now unplugged.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Danny.
Thank you very much for
More
coming.
power to you.
And we'll be in touch.
You bet you. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and happy holidays.
Thank you too.
Thank you. All right. Moving on, gentlemen. You can say, yeah, there you go. All right. Thank you. Moving on, gentlemen, to committee reports. Let's start with Public Works. Mike?
That'll be me. Thanks, Benny. All seasonal staff have now been laid off for the winter. Weekly garbage pickup is now Mondays. The folks in the VRA will have seen those fine folks removing hazardous trees on behalf of Manitoba Hydro. Well, that work has now been completed. and along all of the hydro right of ways. I've had an opportunity to have a look at a couple of spots, and I thought they did a pretty Jiminy Cricket job.
So it's a change.
It's a change, but it's a good change because it means our hydro supply is just that much safer. There is a huge pile of wood chips beside the fire hall. People, please come get your wood chips. Public Works is continuing to make heavy and removing dead and dangerous trees on municipal property, and will continue to cut and remove them. As a matter of fact, this represents a lot of the work that they're doing right now. Especially if we get a snowfall like we had last year, we just don't want to have the same number of trees down and across the road that we had last year. So, a reminder again: e-service requests can be made on the RM of Victoria Beach webpage. Preventative maintenance is ongoing with all municipal equipment. Dylan takes very, very good care of all of our equipment, thank goodness. And as always, water samples from the well at the fire hall and the Albert Beach pump house are tested monthly throughout the winter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Penny.
Any questions for Mike? Steve?
There was just one note, which is that, yeah, we absolutely want you to come get the wood chips, but just be aware that if you grab them too early and the temperature of those wood chips hasn't been able to increase past, I think it's 32 degrees, then you do risk spreading some contagions onto the trees around you. So just a general recommendation is to wait until the first week of spring once temperatures have gone above 5 degrees, because then the biology of the wood chips can increase enough so it kills any pathogens in the wood chip. So it's a way to protect your property. Yeah.
And don't the wood chips retain a fair amount of heat in that great big pile?
In the middle, that's pretty warm.
So couldn't.
No, they do, but then a lot of people are getting from the outside, right?
Right.
So then it's not, if you're getting from the center, absolutely, but then you have to move everything around so that you can get to that core.
But so will the freezing weather not freeze any pathogens or bugs or?
Well, all the that are part of our ecology are very much used to the minus 40s that we get on a regular basis.
Yeah, the Manitobans. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, minus 40 will get rid of a lot of. As a matter of fact, they're bemoaning climate change because the warming temperatures are actually allowing invasive species who are coming to Manitoba and destroying some of our trees and other vegetation, are having the chance to survive our winters now. I would suggest that that if people are taking from the outside, that they are okay. And once you dig further to a point in the wood chip pile where pathogens could still survive, the temperature is still ambient enough, it isn't going to stay ambient very, very long. So basically, it's going to be a kill as you go.
Well, it's actually the center that's the safest, because the bacteria that's eating away is killing all of the fungus and everything else. So that's actually the safest part. The exterior is the part that's still holding, preventing the active biology in the center of that pile from being able to kill the pathogens on the outside. Anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
So just if that's what you choose to do, then.
Well, you can always come and get it, leave it in a pile in your yard, and then spread it out in the spring.
Well, people are not likely to spread wood chips on top of snow anyway. If that enormous pile refuses to go away, Mike, are there any other alternatives available to us other than begging people to come and help themselves?
The only alternative is load them in trucks and take them to the landfill and burn them.
Expensive.
Unless they use them for landfill cover, perhaps.
Or we sell it.
Who's going to buy it?
If you find a market for it, absolutely.
Go to Home Depot in Rona.
Yeah.
Lots of wood chips. Put a little dye in there, boom, you got some profit.
All right. Any other questions for Mike? Thanks for that, Steve. Thank you, Mike. Erwin, we're moving on to finance.
It's always a pleasure to report on finances recently because they are continuing to improve. As at the end of November, our reserves have increased to $775,000, and that's up from $138,000 compared to last year. Accounts receivable are up, they're at $634,000, and that's up $14,000 over last year. Our cash balance is at $362,000, and it's down very slightly, $3,700 down, and that's essentially just probably a timing issue, not at all significant. Our operating surplus is down a little bit compared to where we were last year. In terms of how the municipality operates, we collect the money in June, July, August, and we hope it lasts through till the end of June next year. And this is probably the most important. There's two important items at the end here. If we take a look at combining our reserves, our cash, and our receivables, in other words, our current assets, the assets that we have available to pay our bills with, we're at $1,738,000, and that's up $134,000 over last year. Our tangible capital assets at the end of November stood at $2.5 million, representing an increase of $251,000 over last year.
Multimedia presentation. You're muted, Erwin.
The graph simply shows this is current over here, 3 years, 2 years back, and you can see that all of the bar charts, the current level are improving. So again, well done to administration and keep a tight handle on the purse strings.
Any questions for Erwin? All right, thank you very much. Protective Services, Steve, do you want to do fire? Do you have it with you or?
So yeah, fire's pretty straightforward. There was nothing. There was 2 false calls, and that's it. Just a quick note, if you are going to be doing any construction, please remember to check your fire alarms, and because yeah, that's pretty much the only 2 calls that went out this month. So we're safe.
Yay. All right, any questions on that brief report? If not, I will move on to Mike for police.
There's going to be even less questions on this one.
All right.
We had a technical glitch, and November numbers weren't provided. I've been in touch with Gary, and I've offered to work with him to see if we can't figure out what's going on. So next month, January, don't you dare miss it. It'll be not 1 but 2 months of police activity reporting.
Well, and a whole year.
And we'll even do the whole year. We'll do the whole year roundup. How's that sound?
Well, 3 for the price of 1.
Oof.
Thank you very much. Okay, no report for special events. Anything on the golf course, Mike?
Oddly enough, due to the cross-country skiers, it's getting very difficult to concentrate to putt on the greens. But besides that, there's not a whole bunch to talk about.
I am told that the cross-country skiers are out there.
They are.
Like crazy. My
Mhm.
husband is one of them. And lots of people out there walking dogs as well.
Yep.
So we just need more snow. And the groomers can get out there. And,
Mhm.
but right now it's people blazing their own trail and following one another. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's great. Okay. Municipal buildings. Graham, do you want to unmute? There you go.
Okay, here I am. On municipal buildings, it's understandably kind of a slow time of the year, but nevertheless, discussions continue with potential contractors and local trades, weather and COVID permitting, to define scope of work, refine recommended material details, and to obtain budget pricing on various projects for council discussion and consideration. They include possible rehabilitation of the Moonlight Inn, accessible handrails on the municipal stairs, bakery upper landing enlargement, not to forget Bayview number 4 stairs, the parking lot EV charging. Well, that's a separate issue we'll get to on another time. The Clubhouse Beach North stairs, more electric doors for 2021, accessible beach access for in conjunction with our accessibility commitments, which is ongoing with the committee and Rod Bowman. I do have some recommendations from the electrician regarding possible circuit updates, upgrades that are presumably essential at the bakery. I'll get more information on that. And then there's the subject of the Doctor's Cottage renovations. This, you'll understand, is just kind of a laundry list where I try and keep these things boiling, even though some of them may be on the back burner at any given time, so that things don't get forgotten or omitted. So that's my report to this meeting. Thank you.
Very thorough as always. Thank you, Graham. Any questions? Okay, thanks very much, Graham. Dr. Irwin, Doctor's Cottage Committee.
Nothing official to report on that at this point. I am in some discussions with Raymond on some matters relating to insurance, which I hope to be able to report on in the near future. We still have not heard back anything, and I followed up with Manitoba Health on guidelines, but goodness knows they got lots of problems to deal with. So I hope to have a more detailed report in the new year for council's review and discussion.
Great, thank you. Communications, Mike and Steve, anything?
Hopefully people are taking the time to tour the new website. Let us know what they think. Also, we're trying to keep people up, trying to keep people current with the Facebook page, and we're essentially taking a long, hard look at the website. It's never perfect the first time, and we're making a laundry list for the designer to make some changes and some corrections to it.
Graham?
On the website, Mike, just a word of thank you. You'll be seeing improvements in our website over the next little while. A friend of the RM and a local photographer, Mr. Chris Ford, has donated a number of his professional images that Lynn is in the process of using to brighten up our website. So it's going to be looking better and better. And our thanks to Chris for making that effort to help us.
That's great, thank you. Steve, did you have a comment?
No, I mean, Mike pretty much said it for sure. I mean, I think just on communications, we should be looking to try to figure out how we can work with the province for when the vaccines are getting rolled out, and get that information, ensure that information gets to our vulnerable residents, and come up with a plan. But that's a little bit off. So, and that's pretty much all I had.
Manitoba Health will look after that.
Yeah, they do
Through
pretty
the
well.
social scene and the senior scene, and
Well, doctors and nurses can't get through, so.
yeah, I'm sure we'll be notified if it's coming to our area. Thank you very much.
If I may, I had a question for Michael that I didn't get a chance to ask a moment or so ago. With respect to the radar speed signs, are we seeing data indicating, you know, the speeds on Safi Road from time to time?
I can't say, because the sign there right now is the belongs to the RMA.
It's our sign.
Sorry?
It's our sign.
Oh, our sign is back there now. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it has been here, so. Trevor confirmed that it was our sign.
Out in the summer, though.
There was some controversy on who owned what.
Yeah, in the summer, it's the RMA sign, and ours is located on David Road. The rest of the year, it's our sign on Saffy Road. But I will ask Gary about that if you'd like.
I think the public would be interested in knowing what sort of speeds, we're monitoring, and hopefully they're going to slow down. I think the signs are working.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be interesting to get some data.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank Graham.
A very brief add-on to communications. We've all seen in the email that Penny is working on a year-end information to residents summary, which is an important and valuable document. So that'll be going out to residents or up on the site soon, I believe. Good work there. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully this week. Okay, anything else for your communications? All
How
right,
is that
thank you.
newsletter going to be distributed? Is that just going to go onto our website and Facebook?
It'll go through Connect, wouldn't it?
It has been going out, like the ones we've been doing through the year have gone out through Connect, is that right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so if they go out through Connect, it'll be on Facebook
Mhm.
and the website.
So Connect will just tell people there's something on the website and go look at it.
No, it comes as the document. That's
Through
how I
Connect?
received.
Unless it's a phone call.
Okay,
If you put down your email address, it'll come as
Okay.
a document.
good. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's how I got mine all summer.
Yeah, I've had notices via email and cell phone on, Connect.
You wouldn't want this on your phone. You wouldn't want this by text. Okay, thank you very much. No report on the information office. Building inspector, Graham?
Yes, the building inspector, the report that Curtis has submitted for the month of November. Things slowing down a little bit, but there's still one main building, 3 additions, 1 shed, 1 deck. The value of permits, $378,000, and the permit fees collected, you'll be happy to know, Erwin, is $4,317. So it's coming right up.
For a slow month, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take that, and thank you to Curtis, who continues to make himself available to work with me on certain municipal buildings issues, kind of behind the scenes, but it's worth mentioning that it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, great, thank you. Okay, accessibility, I can advise you that I gratefully accepted our accessibility award remotely on December 3rd, and they're going to actually send something to the office. So I'd like to thank our Community Accessibility Committee for working with Council and Council for working with them and the community to ensure we do our best to provide an inclusive, accessible community. It's not just built form, right? It's a lot of things that people don't see that go into accessibility. But what's most visible to many of us is the built form. But there are other things, employee safety and mental health, etc. So I do appreciate all the work they're doing. And the Disability Issues Office has officially changed its name to the Manitoba Accessibility Office, which is great.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, more positive.
yeah, more positive. So that's my report on accessibility. Any questions? Okay. Heritage, Steve.
Heritage still waiting for the website. That's the biggest thing from our side. And then I suppose just over to the trails. Trails, there is an issue that we're going to be looking at. I don't want to really go into detail as to what it is. It's not so much an accessibility issue. It's more of a pathing issue, but we're aware of it and we'll be taking it. And for those who know what it is, I'm sure they already understand what I'm talking about. With the trails, you're also going to notice with the cross-country skiers that they've gone ahead and put maps along their trail system. So you'll be able to know where you are. And one of the things that we are hoping for is that in the new year, we might be able to get some money, but we'll talk about that coming budgeting for some midway markers and just general trail signs. Because if you don't know the trail system, some of the turns can be a little bit disorienting. Still looking to get some more people to send in an email to request jumping in for being a volunteer to help start clearing out some of the brush inside of the trail system. The last storm is a perfect example of the conifer issue that we have right now. There is mass devastation in that forest. And a lot of widowmakers, and we do need to start pulling those trees out. So we're trying to get a plan together to address that properly. And that wood chip pile might be getting a little bit larger. So hence, maybe we might want to start selling a little bit of them later on. But anyway.
Okay. Thank you very much, Steve. Any questions for Steve? Thank you very much, gentlemen. So be it resolved that the December committee reports be accepted as presented. May I have a mover?
I'll move that.
Thank you. Steve, will you second? Thank you. Any further questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Moving on to accounts and finances. Be it resolved that the following list of accounts be approved for payment. Accounts payable check 8916 to 8952 in the amount of $56,611.42. December 11th payroll in the amount of $31,020.06. And Visa in the amount of $3,915.16.
Yep.
May I have a mover, Erwin? Thank you. Second? Graham?
No,
Thank you. Any discussion, Erwin?
Again, I have reviewed the list of accounts payable. There's nothing unusual. It's all routine stuff this month. That's all.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to other business. Bylaw 1613. Be it resolved that bylaw 1613, authorizing the payment of indemnities and expenses to the mayor and council, be given first reading. May I have a mover? Steve, thank you.
I'll second that.
Graham, second, thank you. Discussion? Council received the first reading of the bylaw. Had a brief discussion about it at another time, and
Just to confirm, the average increase in the stipends for 2021 over 2020 are 2.2%. Essentially, just to try and keep up with inflation.
we got a long ways to go with it. That's right.
The monthly increase will buy us a cup of coffee every 3 or 4 days, or 4 times if you go to Starbucks.
Right, Steve needs that coffee right now.
Yeah.
Okay, not hearing any further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Council committee appointments, which have been circulated to council and discussed. Be it resolved that pursuant to bylaw 1612, the organizational bylaw, the council committee appointments be as follows. Public Works Recycling Water Systems, Councillor Bartmanovich. Finance, Councillor Kumka. Police Board, Councillor Bartmanovich. Fire First Responders, Councillor Axworthy, Mayor McMorris. Parks and Vincent Memorial, Councillor Randall, Mayor McMorris. Golf Course, Councillor Bartmanovich. Your name's here a lot, Mike. Municipal Property, Buildings, Parking Lot, and Gate Information, Councillor Randall, Mayor McMorris. Doctor Medical, Councillor Kumka. Communications, Councillor Axworthy, Bartmanovich. Building Inspector, Councillor Randall. Accessibility, Councillor Randall. Mayor McMorris. Heritage, Councillor Axworthy. Trails, Councillor Axworthy. Other committees, Community Futures, Councillor Randall. IERHA, Councillor Bartmanovich. Allard and RMVB Library, Councillor Kumka. Eastern Municipal Committee, Mayor McMorris. South Basin Mayors and Reeves, Mayor McMorris. Red River Basin, Councillor Kumka, Mayor McMorris. Coalition to Save Lake Winnipeg, Councillor Axworthy. May I have a mover?
So moved.
Mike, thank you. Second, Steve, thank you. Any further discussion, any more movement before we put this through?
I'm just surprised Mike's hand went up so fast.
Well, just in case somebody tries to add something.
We're all able to help one another out if need be as well, so don't
Absolutely.
hesitate to ask. All right, so no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Thank you all for all your efforts to date and going forward. 2021 interim operating budget. Whereas Section 163 of the Municipal Act states that council may adopt an interim budget until the current fiscal year operating budget is passed. Therefore, be it resolved, the 2021 interim budget be adopted as follows. Would you like me to read all this? Is it necessary that I do? Council has it all.
Maybe just the bottom.
Yeah, we looked through it all.
The bottom line, the total is $940,000 for an interim budget. May I have a mover? Erwin, thank you. Second?
No, second it.
Thank you. Discussion?
This is an interim budget as required by municipal regulations. There's really nothing here carved in stone. It's our upcoming 2021 budgetary discussions that will define what goes where.
Essentially, what it does is it gives us council a spending authority from, January 1 through to when the 2021 budget is formally approved.
Right, it's a bridge arrangement.
Okay.
It's in order.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carrie, thank you very much. 2021 council meeting schedule. Be it resolved that the Arm Victoria Beach Council approve the 2021 council meeting schedule as per the attached appendix. May I have a mover? Thank you, Steve. Second?
I'll
Graham?
second.
Thank you. If we look at the schedule, which is the next one on our list here, on our resolutions, we do. At the bottom, it says all council meetings to take place at 1 p.m. here in Winnipeg. But that may not work now for you, Steve. Is that correct? Okay.
Damn.
Yeah,
Steve?
no, it's just with everything that's going on. Just my schedule's changed, so I kind of do need them to be back at 6:30, and yeah.
So your schedule has changed, so it's got to be 6:30?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fair.
Maybe 5:30 if you guys want. But, that's a possibility for me.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, I think we should do what we can to accommodate Steve. And it should be pointed out when we discuss this schedule, it is in effect an interim schedule because nobody knows what COVID is going to do. As and when we're allowed to assemble in groups and return to meetings out here, this schedule will of course be revised. But we're obliged to put out something to start with. But I think almost on a month-by-month basis, we'll be reviewing it to see if it's still in the best interests of council and our residents.
But for now, we're still the first and third Tuesday of every month.
And for now, all of them in Winnipeg until further notice.
Yeah.
Well, we're virtual.
And some will be virtual. So
Yes, I'm for sure, yeah.
do we need to amend the resolution, or do we just amend the event?
Just change the
Change that.
schedule. Are you deciding 6:30?
So it's at 6:30 or-
You might talk about 6.
I think I mentioned 6.
Steve, did 6 works for you?
Anywhere between 5:30 and 6:30, whatever you guys want to do, whatever works the best.
6? Yeah.
Okay, are we going to apply this to all meetings or just, let's say, the first 6 months and then wait to see if and when Steve's situation might change?
Well, it says that meeting location and time are subject to change.
Okay.
So we'll start at 6 o'clock and
Yeah.
see what happens. Is that okay with everyone?
We'll aim for 6 o'clock. Erwin, you're all right with that?
I'm okay with 6.
I'm okay with
Okay.
6 o'clock. Okay.
I apologize. It was a really fast turnaround. This pretty much all got finalized only in the last couple of days. So
That's-
Well, good for you.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, we love you, so we're going to accommodate.
That's right.
make me blush.
Wouldn't be the same without you.
Okay, all right. So thanks for that discussion. So all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Coming up next is the Moonlight Inn lease. Be it resolved, the arm of Victoria Beach Council approved the 2021 Moonlight Inn lease agreement between Aaron Vince Malkame and municipality. Further, be it resolved that the mayor and CAO be authorized to sign said agreement on behalf of the municipality. May I have a mover? Graham, thank you. Second? Erwin, thank you. Discussion? Graham?
I've read through it in detail, not just this year but past years. It's the standard boilerplate type agreement. Most of the clauses in it have been repeated from year to year, I believe, Raymond. But it does not note in this year's agreement that the use of the upper level is not allowed. I just couldn't find that anywhere in the agreement, and of course that's the situation we're faced with for 2021, the same as 2020, for the same reasons that the upstairs section has to be closed. Should that not be provided for in the agreement?
Yes.
Yes, it should.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your best.
Other than that, because of the unusual circumstances and the condition of the Moonlight Inn, and it's still uncertain exactly what we're going to do with it and when. It was for these reasons that council invited Raymond to simply negotiate a deal with Aaron, and I'm glad to see that he's done that. So thank you.
I think though we will table this agreement. There's no big rush, and Raymond can make that change, and we'll bring it forward at the next council meeting or. Okay. So we'll make that.
And just to clarify, for any residents thinking that we're changing on the spot, we're not. Everybody's in the know. It's just you missed it.
Yeah. Not a big deal. Okay, so that has been tabled.
Tabled, right.
Moving on. Be it resolved that the RM of Victoria Beach Council authorize the following additional expenditures relating to the installation of the diesel generator and the automatic transfer switch at the 8th Avenue water plant site. A new 45 AVA transformer and circuit panel. November 14th, 2020 quote, option number 4. New heaters and electrical in the outbuilding, December 10th, 2020 quote. Electrical cable supply and installation, change order, December 2nd, 2020. All of the above works to be completed by Spark Power. I thought there would be a total at the bottom, but the 45 kVA transformers, 5292. New heaters and electrical, 4,468, and electrical cable supply, 3,155.69.
For a total of, quick, can you add, Raymond?
12,000 and change.
12,000 and change. May I have a mover?
I'll move this.
Graham, thank you. Second? Erwin, thank you. Discussion? Council received all this information recently in an email. All these are different attachments. Did you?
Raymond, the new transformer, are those going to replace the units that are immediately to the south end of the water treatment plant?
I'm not familiar exactly what it is it's replacing. It's replacing the 15 kVA transformer that we're presently using.
Yeah, I was up there last week and I couldn't identify exactly what they were. No additional information.
Thanks, Graham.
This whole issue has been discussed at some length, and we queried. In fact, we politely challenged Raymond on each of these items, and he's explained them quite satisfactorily that this is the right thing to do, the right way to go. One loose end that came up in prior conversations was the any market value of the 15 kVA transformer that we'll be abandoning. Is it worth any money? Can we get something out of it?
Yeah, and I forgot to ask that, and I will ask that. I'll make a note of it right now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And all of this has been reviewed by Stantec, by the way. We've had Stantec put in all three items.
Yeah.
Any further discussion, gentlemen? All right. All those in favor?
All right.
Carried. Thank you. One more step. Okay. Further, be it resolved that Mayor McMorris and Councillor Kumka be authorized to virtually attend the Red River Basin Commission annual conference on January 21st, 2021. Further be it resolved that the municipality cover all associated costs to attend said conference as per the terms of bylaw 1613. I have a mover. Mike, thank you. Second. Graham, thank you. Erwin, I added you in case you wanted to attend.
Yeah, we had talked briefly about that. So.
Okay. And the virtual attendance is $10 if that was the early bird fee. I'm not sure when that, I think that expired last week, so I don't know if the new price is $15 or a bit more, but there is
resolution.
there is still our fee to attend for the day, right? So
If there's any difference, I'll pay it.
any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. And Erwin, you'll register yourself? Okay, thank you.
I've made a note of that.
Okay, I've done that already, so I figured I could cover the $10. Be it resolved that all council members be authorized to virtually attend the AMM education webinar, setting realistic priorities on January 28, 2021. Further be it resolved that the municipality cover all associated costs to attend said webinar per the terms of bylaw 1613. May I have a mover? Steve, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Graham. I put this in. It looks like something that I am very interested in setting priorities and making sure we follow through on some of those. It looks like an interesting seminar. It's a half day. If anyone is interested, it's not quite like the Red River Basin Commission. It's $100 for a day.
I'm thinking $100 a head, maybe one or two of us attend and then provide everybody else the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah, and registration is likely to close fairly soon for those councillors who are considering it.
Anyone other than myself interested? Steve, you can do it.
I am really
doing other things.
People do attend.
I'd be interested.
Okay. Do you want to register yourself then, Graham? And we can, I
Yes,
think,
I'll
you'll-
register myself. I think it says something that they bill the RM later.
yeah, they do. So just get your name on the list and then that will happen.
Take good notes.
Yeah. All right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Right.
Thank you. My goodness. All right, moving on. Correspondence. Is there anything in correspondence that council wishes to bring forward? Graham?
We won't be dealing with these now, but they are items of correspondence, and it's probably appropriate to read them into the record. Requests for grant funds from both East Beaches Resources Center and also the social scene. I think council has the request before them. Presumably, this would come up around budget time, Penny, or more likely when we do our list of grants to people, one or the other.
It's budget time, yeah, for sure.
That's part of the budget, Graham.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, we have the requests. They both constitute a bit of an increase, I think.
Okay, thank you. Mike, did you have anything?
Just wanted to mention that we did receive correspondence, some concerns about some man-made impediments along some of the trails and trailways within the RM that could be a potential hazard to snowmobilers, and we will be looking into the viability of these impediments to make sure that all interests are served and people are kept safe as they recreate in Victoria Beach in the winter.
Yeah, that was the issue that I didn't want to discuss too much, but it comes down to property lines, so we need to figure out again how to get that information. So we'll follow up with them and figure out what's what, and until we know what's what, then there's not much that we can do. So we'll figure out what's going on, and then we can move forward.
Anything else under correspondence?
I just had two quick things. It wasn't so much correspondence as it was just the same message I've been repeating at the end of every council meeting. The first thing is that COVID-19 is real. If you get it, there is a real chance of not coming out of it on the other end. You please wear your masks. Do not go into your friends' residences. It's not party time. Unfortunately, fortunately, we're getting more people in the winter. However, the other night there was, I know that there was a party somewhere northwest of my residence. There's not a magical force field that protects Victoria Beach. You have to be careful in Victoria Beach, just like you would in the city of Winnipeg, wherever you're coming from. So we can't let up now, especially the fact that the vaccine is starting to roll out. Just because it's rolling out doesn't mean that everybody's protected. And there's only been 900 vaccines. Even once we hit March, that's still only 100,000, and that's only a small fraction of our population. For all those out there who are scared of the vaccine, thinking that they're guinea pigs, and I've heard that a lot from many different people. You have to understand that these are the most heavily scrutinized vaccines that have ever come out in the history of our planet. And every vaccine that's on the market right now that's undergone proper clinical trials, you're more likely to get injured from taking Tylenol than you are from taking a vaccine. The Moderna vaccine went through 30,000 had 30,000 participants, which is larger than most. And the Pfizer vaccine had 43,000 participants as well. And all of these companies are being held to the same level of account. So I just wanted to put the message out there. Don't let up, wear your mask, social distance. And don't be afraid of the vaccine when your time comes up, and get the vaccine.
Thank you. All right, anything else, Mike?
No, just to I just wanted to agree and emphasize what Steve says. Anybody who's ever eaten a hot dog and can still ask the question, I'm not getting the virus because I don't know what's in this.
Oh.
Enough said.
Mhm. Okay. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to be it resolved that the December 15th, 2020 regular council meeting be adjourned. Next regular council meeting to be held on January 5th, 2021 at 6 p.m. at 705 1661 Portage Avenue and virtually on GoToMeeting. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays.
Season's
safe.
greetings to everyone.
Yeah,
Merry
season's
Christmas.
greetings, everyone.
Call for the vote.
Oh, yeah. I need a mover and a seconder.
We
Yeah.
need a vote on an adjournment.
We always do.
I'm
So I
over
need,
it.
Tradition.
so Graham moved it, Erwin seconded it.
Yeah.
Happy ho, ho, ho. All those in favor?
Season's greetings to everyone. Stay safe.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.